Hey everyone, I'm Stuart Deming with the Nashville Daily Podcast, and as you notice, there are a few changes happening over the next few episodes. We're currently in our control room. This is the brain of our operation. Aaron is here as well, and we are currently under construction for episode 1000. Episode 1000 comes out next Tuesday. I cannot believe we have done 1,000 episodes of this podcast, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's just you start with one, and then you're at 100, then you're at 500, and then
you're at 1,000.
You're at 1,000 before you know
it. So if you're not following us on social media, you probably should. We have a few different accounts. We have explore.nash on YouTube. We also have that on Instagram. And on YouTube, we also have the Nashville Daily Podcast, or you could visit NashvilleDailyPodcast.com to get more insight and to see the show notes of the episodes. And we also have a brand new channel that we launched in November of 2022, and that's Explore Tennessee. That's XPLR Tennessee. So if you want to follow those three different accounts on the YouTube and subscribe to those channels, that would be very well appreciated. While we're under construction, the next few days we will be in the control room, so the episodes will be a little bit more relaxed and in this atmosphere in the control room. But first, we have to talk about our sponsor of today's episode, and that's Brad Reynolds with thinkbrad.com. If you are looking for real estate here in the city of Nashville or anywhere in Middle Tennessee, you need to contact the number on the screen, or you could visit him at thinkbrad.com. Now let's get into it. Yesterday, we had the opportunity to check out the beautiful grand lobby of the hotel. Aaron, what are your initial thoughts on this grand lobby?
So the first thing, and you can check out the live stream that we did. We did that with Explore Nash on Instagram. So that's on kind of our archives in Instagram if you want to go check that out. But the interesting thing, I had two initial thoughts, three. One, the lobby, when they added all the security guardrails and everything, they were not as big as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
when you add all the security rails in there.
Yeah, the photos from yesterday's episode, it makes it look very deceiving, like how big it is. But then once they add all the security rails, you're like, oh, this is actually smaller. It's still 200,000 square feet, which is a large space.
It feels small because there are not many people in there, but that's by design. Like, I think they did a good job in bringing so much space that they brought so much space that it feels like there aren't a lot of people in there, but that's because people are moving so efficiently through there. So it was my initial thought is it looks larger in the photos. After the added security rails, it looks nice but normal sized. My second reaction was similar to the first, but there's no lines at security the morning that we went yesterday.
Which traffic could have been down. It's January. It's one of the slowest travel months. It's going to be interesting to go back there in like March or June for CMA Fest and see the madness.
Yeah, I think we make that a monthly visit just to see what the airport is doing.
Madness is. And then we have a madness a scale for like our Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts. It's like, how mad is the airport today?
Yeah.
Well, the traffic's been really mad.
We did have somebody on our live that was like picking up somebody from the airport.
Yeah.
So that was pretty interesting. Like while we were live there.
Yeah,
so that was fun.
My initial thoughts were I'm really excited for it. It's very like open space, and that walkway is absolutely beautiful.
But
the thing I was most impressed with is where they're building the hotel. There's all this like outdoor seating with these swings, and you're like, oh, I could fly for free on the swing. I could just not really because you have to pay for parking. But
that was my third, like really, really, really nice feel about that airport. Was that new outdoor walkway from the parking garage.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was just amazing. That little outer courtyard area that it's going to be when you walk outside the hotel to whatever those offices are across from the hotel.
The TSA offices,
I don't know.
or whatever they are.
But it was really nice.
Yeah, the walkway is really nice. That outdoor patio area was hands down my favorite thing I saw. And according to renderings we saw a few years ago, we've talked about this on a BNA Vision episode in our archives, and I'll put that in our show notes as well. There was renderings of a light rail. And so I was like, is that where the light rail is going to be built?
Absolutely. That's why it's that's why you can't see it right now.
Yeah, maybe it's under construction still. Another thing that I was really fascinating with is just the like I'm really excited for when they open the BNA market, and that's going to be right past security. It's going to have like those live concert venues, the coffee shops, the shops.
I thought that was already open.
I thought it was too.
I thought it was going to open with the lobby.
Yeah.
They should have opened it with the lobby.
That would have made sense.
I know logistically it wasn't possible, or they would have done it.
Yeah.
But they should have. I wish that was open now.
I'm most excited about that. And then the video walls, watching those videos, the high definition of Nashville, that was fantastic. The transition in between videos was really interesting to watch. It was like this little like mud coming down. And I was like, they could have did a little bit better on the transition on those video walls. But what was really cool is they showed. Did you see the video of the stills that was making the whiskey?
Yes, a little bit.
That was cool. That was pretty cool. So they showed you like the process of how like whiskey is made in these like little stills. So that was fascinating. Any other thoughts about the new lobby of the grand lobby of the airport?
The artwork. Is especially if you can go and see it in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
When the sun is, because there's so many strings hanging down. It reminds me of the Cheekwood Manor.
Yep.
And there's a chandelier type piece of artwork in there where it hangs down from like 1,000 different strings. Maybe not that many, but a few. And it reminds me of that, but there are these kind of glass circle artwork type things at the end. They're incredible, and especially if you can see it in the morning where there's sunlight bouncing off of them from the glass coming in. It's really nice. So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was a huge, beautiful piece of artwork. If you want to see it, head to our Instagram account, explore.nash, and you can watch that live stream. Now let's talk about the growth of Nashville in 2022. U-Haul does this release every single year, and they talk about how many moving trucks are coming in and out of the city. And this is coming from the Nashville Business Journal. In 2022, 50.4% of moving traffic came to the city versus 49.6% departing the city. So the interesting thing with that is over 50% of people are coming to move into Nashville.
And I think these are one-ways.
These are one-ways,
yeah,
yes.
All of the data that they're releasing, they don't count round trip. They're only releasing the one-way stuff.
Yeah, and then they don't talk about a lot of numbers because they don't want the competition, like budget trucks, to know what they're doing. But the 49.6 departing, I think that's people that have come to Nashville and then they're like, man, I need to move to another county. I need to get to Wilson County, Sumner County, Rutherford County. I need to just get out. So I wonder how many of those trucks are going to those other counties surrounding Nashville.
That would be nice to know if, like, the average mileage of the stuff moving out, average mileage of the stuff moving in, or, like, the percentage. So, 80% moved 30 to 50 miles out, or, 40% moved, 100 miles or more in. That would be great data to see, because you're exactly right. You don't know. It doesn't. This, honestly, it's cool data. Doesn't give us a lot. It's the number that's departing Nashville. I'm wondering if that's the highest it's seen in a long time. I'm willing to bet it is.
Yeah, it's interesting because I get all these random like emails from all these PR companies. So I'll have to go through the archives because they emailed me this huge extensive list of what they did in 21 that had a lot more data that they released. So maybe eventually we'll talk about that. But I do want to talk about this one thing real quick. I had this food truck, and it's a barbecue truck located in West Nashville. It has not officially opened yet.
Ooh, you got a sneak peek at the meat.
I got a sneak peek at the meat. It's like going to the movie theater. But this is called
what?
Don't worry about it. Okay. But this is called Blinky's.
We're not moving past this. No.
This is called Blinky's Barbecue. I got a blink of the meat. Okay, so this place is fantastic. The guy, Matt, that is leading this barbecue company, he's sponsored by this Mississippi rub and spice company. It's fantastic. He gave me some burnt ends, which burnt ends are my favorite type of barbecue. And I just warmed them up. They were already pre-cooked, so I warmed them up in my stove.
You like those over brisket, don't you?
I do.
I like brisket a little bit more. What is it about burnt ends?
Probably the texture.
Yeah.
Maybe a little burnt flavor. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like it all. But they were fantastic. But the really cool thing is this seasoning that he gave me. He gave me all this seasoning. He's like, here, try this barbecue. And then he's like, also try these cinnamon pickles. And I was like, what's a cinnamon pickle? and it's a pickle
Ooh,
that's aged in cinnamon.
What?
It's fantastic.
Is it pickled as well,
Yes,
like pickled and brined?
Pickled and brined pickles, aged in cinnamon. I'll have to bring it to you, or we'll have to go to my house. So you
that's
can try
very
it.
interesting.
It is fantastic, and so he garnishes all of his meat with these pickles, and I was like, yes. And so
That sounds really good.
I just took the burnt ends, and I just had all of these pickles with like some of the cinnamon juice over the the meat. Fantastic. He gave me these 2 different spices. He gave me one that's like strictly for steaks. And then he gave me another spice that's for burgers and like spicy things. I put the spicy one on a burger. Fantastic. Also, the quality of beef that I had was amazing. So like it was one of the best burgers.
So
I've ever had
you
in my entire
got
life.
top-notch experience there.
And with some Gouda cheese, man, it was fantastic. So I am excited for when Blinky's fully opens. He's going to be stationed primarily in the Bellevue, West Nashville area, but
They need that area needs more local food.
I would drive out to Bellevue every single day to have his barbecue.
That is so nice.
Yeah.
We'll talk about some more local food on tomorrow's episode. But before we move on, we have to talk about the most amazing haircut experience that you can have, and that is Bowtie Barber Club located in Donaldson. So the exact opposite of where you got your good barbecue on the east side of town. If you want the best haircut and shave experience in town, this is who we trust with our hair. Our beards. Stuart has recently, you can see this on our YouTube channel, explore.nash. He got his nose waxed on the same day. He got his nose,
my nose waxed,
your nostrils waxed,
and
your
my
your ears waxed, and your eyebrows waxed.
Same day.
Yeah, all on the same day.
It was pretty intense.
And so if you want to see those, head to our Instagram account. But if you're feeling you need a top-notch haircut, go to Bowtie Barber Club in Donaldson.
Aaron, have you ever been walking around downtown Nashville and you're like, man, I just have to use the restroom. Like, I don't want to go into a honky tonk.
The first time that I visited Nashville, like before I moved down here.
Yeah.
So this was, 2010, 11, something like that. I don't know, maybe somewhere around in there. I had to use the restroom so bad. Mm-hmm. This was before I could drink. I was not even of drinking age at this point.
Oh. Was it after 6 p.m.?
No, I think it was daytime.
Okay.
But I had to go so bad. And the only place that I tried to go was that pizza place off of 2nd and like
Luigi's or Sbarro's.
Sbarro's, and but like they were doing customers only, and I was like, I learned really quick. I don't have a lot of big city experience. I learned really quick that big cities don't have public restrooms.
Yeah.
Like you have to, if you want to go to the bathroom, this is not the UK where you can just pay to go to the bathroom. Like you have to buy or go into a restaurant or something in order to use the restroom. Now, you could just show your ID, go into a bar, but I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That was, I know that now, but it's not very public restroom friendly downtown.
It's not. I just have to talk about this experience before I get to Nashville restrooms. And I know this is an interesting topic. We're talking about the loos in Nashville. But I was in Venice, Italy once, and I had no idea that you had to pay to use the bathroom. It's €2 to use like public bathrooms. And I'm like, I am dirt cheap. I'm not paying to use the bathroom. And so I was in Venice, Italy, and I found this random alleyway, and I just went in this alleyway. It was a really interesting story. But it reminds me of the times in Nashville where you're walking around and you're like, man, I have to use the bathroom. There's no fast food restaurants here. There is now with the Taco Bell and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But there's an article that just came out from the Tennessean, and the first line in the article is, downtown Nashville is about to get perhaps the biggest upgrade ever, public bathrooms.
Yeah, this is an interesting disclaimer. I've not read this, so I'm very excited to dig through this to see what is going to happen, because I'm not confident that these are going to be a great thing for downtown. Well, only from a sanitary perspective, I would say. Great for use. Everybody needs it, but from a sanitary perspective, I'm already nervous and I haven't read it yet.
It's going to be disgusting. It's going to be so gross. Unless they have the really fancy ones that self-sanitize. I hope it's not the same story of them building a public restroom like they did in Portland, Oregon that cost like $3 million for one toilet. I hope that's not the situation. But
Yeah.
let's dive into this article to learn more. New restrooms are one piece of a wide-reaching plan to spruce up Lower Broadway and crack down on trash, noise, and drunk in public problems. Read peeing, fighting, and screaming Miley Cyrus lyrics in the street.
Yes,
in the
public
city's
restrooms are
busiest
going to
tourist
solve
zone.
the problem.
It's gonna fix everything, guys.
People screaming.
Yes.
Miley Cyrus lyrics in the street.
And drunkenness. And it's going to stop the peeing in the streets. On a Friday night and Saturday night in downtown Nashville, it gets gross.
You know what's going to be the most gross is the area right around that, because people are going to find a bunch of locked doors. They really have to pee.
Yep.
And so they're just going to go around back over to the side,
it's
whatever.
So bad.
And it's going to pee all around in that area.
Ugh. It's going to smell so bad. All right, the article goes on and says, Lower Broadway's chaotic nightlife long ago crossed the line of sustainability, according to residents and tourism leaders alike, and why local business profit from ever-growing stream of tourists, 12 million unique visitors to 7 downtown Broadway blocks in 2022. That's a lot of people on Broadway. That's a lot of urination.
Yeah.
Many of them were weary of the problems that came with it. Okay.
Yep. All right. So here's the money portion. Metro Nashville is now seeking $37.5 million from tourism revenues collected by Music City Center's Convention Center Authority to improve.
That's a name.
Yeah, to improve Riverfront Park.
Okay.
Is that where the park behind the Senate Amphitheater?
No. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. And complete reconstruction of the 2nd Avenue block wrecked by a bomb attack on Christmas 2 years ago. The authorities board will consider donating the funds at its upcoming meeting. I'm waiting for the part in this article where it talks about public restrooms.
It doesn't it talks about it slightly, but then it changes topics to surveillance.
Okay, let's continue.
So
Let's see if this is a productive article.
That's why we named this title the Lou Review.
The Lou Review. The historic riverfront, according to the Tennessean, the historic riverfront commercial district has been stabilized with $22.5 million in Metro funds used to clean up tons of debris and reinforce damaged structures. New streetscape designs have wide sidewalks, attractive pavers, outdoor dining areas, public art,
pavers,
and street kiosks. I thought those were banned. A major change to the pedestrian landscape will come when 1st and 2nd Avenues are connected by the riverfront by a new pathway in place of a small building destroyed in the bombing. Still waiting
for the bathrooms, man.
For the mention of the bathrooms, which is the whole point of this article, apparently. I'm just going to keep scrolling until let's talk about the parks. Okay. There are 2 parks along Lower Broadway in the line for makeovers. Riverfront Park, maybe I should have read this first. Riverfront Park and on 1st Avenue, and Walk of Fame Park right next to Bridgestone Arena.
Mm-hmm. Which was a homeless camp for a while.
Yeah. National Downtown Partnership has requested $1.8 million from the Convention Center Authority to redesign and enliven the 2.5-acre public space. Designs for Walk of Fame Park include, here we go, finally, new public bathrooms and kiosks selling food and drink, replacing asphalt and gravel areas with landscaping and activating the site with bocce or pickleball courts and events.
That sounds cool. I like the kiosk idea because I think that's one thing Nashville parks really lacks is kiosks for vendors.
Yeah, like sell,
and they could be
pretzels and popcorn and hot dogs outside. We need a lot more of that.
We do, and that's something that Nashville has lacked in all of its parks. Is these
just
public
put these
kiosks? Yeah,
just put these tiny little food trucks outside.
Mm-hmm.
Like Daddy's Dogs and the hot dog vendors have been dominating that area north of Broadway for years.
Yep. But like Fat Belly Pretzel, the company that we talked about last week in the review.
Yeah.
Like them having a kiosk in downtown Nashville would be so well for them.
Yeah, it has to be done right.
Yes.
Serve a nice variety of food. But I think there's a lot to be offered here. All right, before we destroy the public restroom portion of this, let's see what else they're doing.
There's not much.
The park will require nearly $1 million in annual maintenance to activate it, and Turner said they are seeking private funding, including local business sponsorships.
So each bathroom is going to be sponsored by a local business. This is brought to you by Tootsie's.
I love it. I think that is honestly, it's the best option, especially if a brand is going to like keep up a public restroom, you better believe it's going to be a dang good public restroom.
Well,
because their name's all over it.
Yeah. So hypothetically, they're the ones cleaning. Maybe it would be as clean as a Buc-ee's bathroom. I doubt it. I highly doubt it.
There is no way.
All right.
No way.
Do you think, Aaron, that our podcast should sponsor a bathroom so we can tell all the shit jokes?
Absolutely not.
No.
That would be.
It sounds awful.
Put it on the list of worst things
that we can do.
That we could do.
Yeah.
Is sponsor a public restroom. Sounds amazing. It'll go down the toilet.
Yeah, we're flushing this one down the pipes. Okay, so it goes on to say several metro agencies are working with nonprofits, Nashville Downtown Partnership, ULI, Nashville, and the district and local business owners to design and finance plans with developed public input at community meetings. So there's going to be some community insight on developing some bathrooms.
Yeah, so
Yippee!
This is also interesting because this is exactly like it's only really Walk of Fame Park that seems to be possibly getting a restroom, maybe Riverfront Park.
Oh, I think Riverfront will too. But so they have the bathrooms at Ascend, which are not open to the public during the day. They're only open to the public when there's concerts.
Gotcha.
But you still have to have tickets to use Ascend bathrooms.
Yeah.
So I think Riverfront is much needed for that. I think Walk of Fame Park would have a much need for public restrooms as well. The interesting thing that I'm thinking of is, will these areas become a higher area of crime, of aggravated assaults, of not trespassing, but of like public drunkenness? Are more people going to throw up in this area? It's really interesting. The article does talk about this.
I mean, because think about it. If somebody throws up, or if somebody is, makes a mess in there and it's not cleaned up, and somebody else tries to use it and gets sick or gets a disease or something from that, like the city's just setting themselves up for like a million lawsuits.
Is it the cesspool of downtown Nashville then? Like, does it become the cesspool of downtown because of the public restrooms?
Like, those easily have the chance to be the most disgusting place in downtown Nashville.
Oh, hands down.
Now, I'm not...
Besides the Cumberland River. The Cumberland River is gross. These public restrooms may look like the Cumberland River.
Ew.
That's gross.
Now, I'm not saying it's not needed, but dang, I want to see somebody who's done public restrooms right. I don't know.
Do you remember when...
So somebody let us know. If it keeps it clean to do a pay system where it's like pay $1 to use the restroom, and that keeps it clean,
as long as it's
like do that, absolutely.
As long as it's like a credit card tap type situation where I don't have to touch anything, like I'll pay $1 to use the bathroom.
Have you been to any kind of place that's like just an outdoor public restroom?
Well,
that's done it right. Oh, I think I'm trying to think if I've been to anywhere.
Do you remember,
maybe somewhere in Seattle, I think, has done it not terribly.
Do you remember when we were in New York City and there was that Shake Shack in the park? I can't remember what park it was.
It's right across from the...
there was a Sony store there.
Sony store, that the Iron Building.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the park, but they had public restrooms, and those restrooms were actually really well cleaned.
Okay, so we need to ask New York how they did it.
Well, I don't know what the situation is now with all the crime and everything happening in New York, but like at the time when we went, those restrooms were clean. I've been to a few other cities that have public restrooms, and like I'm thinking like Charlotte, I think, has some in their downtown core. Those ones are relatively clean, if I remember correctly. Most of the best bathrooms I've seen, besides Buc-ee's is the best bathroom. Let's be honest, guys. Is all in European cities because you're paying $1 or $2 to use them.
Yeah, so I think you'd almost have to do something like that. I wouldn't mind doing that.
But unless a big brand comes in and they're like, yeah, we'll pay somebody to clean this $20 an hour, and it's cleaned after every use.
It would be good advertising for Buc-ee's if they did it. It'd be really good.
Buc-ee's, if you're listening to this podcast, take our idea and run with it. This article goes on to say big focus on policing and surveillance. So they're going to be adding more cameras in these parks. I don't know exactly what that means, but they're going to be trying to fight against aggravated assaults and robberies in downtown Nashville. They go on to talk about some of the numbers and how the numbers have increased. They're also going to be introducing 35 new officers in downtown Nashville. That's insane.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good number right there.
Does that make it over 100 then? Probably.
I really don't know.
I don't know. We don't know either.
All right, we've got these articles in the show notes, but this we're going to be here in the control room for a few more days as we gear up for episode 1,000. So make sure you are subscribed at Nashville Daily Podcast. Let us know. We want to hear from you in the comments because what we're hoping to do with our episodes after episode 1,000 is bring a lot more people here into the studio for some interviews. Let us know who you would love to hear from, whether it's a business or an individual or a musician. Let us know who you would love to hear from, and we'll try our best to get them into the studio. So make sure you are subscribed on YouTube, and we will see you tomorrow.
Also, while you're in the comments, comment your favorite bathroom joke. I would love to read them on air sometime. Make it semi-appropriate. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow.